as well. More than just a mowing service, they're a cut above. Call or text today at 479-719-5605. Lawn, landscaping, power washing, stump grinding, leaf removal, mulching, flea tick, and mosquito control. 719-5605.
You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
Ole Miss is the winner, and to the victor goes the spoil. 63-31, our final score.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live on your favorite radio station, hitthatline.com and the Hit That Line Now app.
Don't say it's a fine morning or I'll shoot you.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly.
And Tommy Kraft.
They're going to go nuts when he hits this thing.
Light the candle.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
How about this, cowboy?
Call or text program at 877-377-6963.
Let's stand up and call those. Oh.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping.
Let's sum up the weekend. Football team lost, got clobbered at home. Basketball team lost on the road. Cowboys lost. Tommy's the only good thing that happened this weekend is we gained an hour of sleep. I'm really searching this morning for positivity. If you have some, please share it with us at 877-377-6963. But it's hard to find some after this weekend if you're a Razorback and Cowboys fan.
Got a little bit of rain, but we got it all at once. There's some rain. We got that. So, the sun still came up. It seemed a little earlier this morning. I'm still not a believer that we actually gained an hour of sleep, but I hear what you're saying there as well. It is a hot take Monday, and I know just listening to the guys earlier, there's plenty of you with opinion out there, and don't blame you. We want to hear them this morning. It's brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of Exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, and always a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. That's Wheels RV, 5 miles west of Exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Ty, you always want to win going into a bye. That way everybody's in a good mood for 2 weeks. But now we got 2 weeks in the build-up to Texas, and you got thrashed again at home by a conference opponent you're very familiar with.
And, again, at home, the key part in that statement, at home, not on the road. You weren't playing in Vaught Hemingway Stadium this weekend, a place you only lost by 7 last year. You got rocked by 32 points, several Ole Miss records set at home. This is the norm the last 3 years. Unfortunately, I don't take pleasure in saying that, but the norm under Sam Pittman at home, the anomaly is when you play good. Texas, Tennessee, Ole Miss, 3 games the last 3 years that probably stand out the most. But the norm is you don't play well. And I got news for the football team. You got a basketball team that's nationally recognized. Basketball season starts today, technically. They play on Wednesday. They play in Dallas on Saturday. It's a bye week, like you said, Tommy. There's going to be a lot of fans that are like, you know what? Let's talk basketball. Let's shift our focus to a basketball team that we think is going to do something this season. And I know the Tennessee game is great, and I got to give them 100% credit for that win because Tennessee keeps on winning. But golly Moses, man, show up at home. It's the same old thing over and over and over again.
So why did it happen? What did you see? Why did it happen this week?
877-377-6963 because, again, I'm not the only one that's why it happened. Again, your offensive line gave up 8 sacks. Defensive line only got 1. You had an injured quarterback. You don't have your best running back in there. Your secondary was outmatched again. It's the 3rd straight game that's happened. I mean, there's tons of reasons that you got lost by 32 in this one.
Don't disagree with anything you said, but, I mean, it was pretty obvious. If you were in the stadium before the game, you could see it in warm-ups. But it became really obvious that you were physically overmatched. And Arkansas made the stop at the goal line, and you felt like, all right, we're going to be okay today. We're going to gather ourselves up. and then, disaster hit. And you knew that was going to be a problem. You knew Ole Miss was going to pin their ears back, and it's like once that fell apart, you could never gather it up again. And I think Ole Miss, tasted blood, and they knew there was blood in the water at that point, and they knew they could pin their ears back. But it was a mismatch with that defensive line versus Arkansas's offensive line from the get-go. And really, if we'd have taken the emotion out of it last week and really looked at what they had up front, we could have maybe not seen this kind of domination coming, but it was pretty clear Ole Miss was going to win the game, even though, just like you, I didn't pick it that way either. It was not a hard overhead moment, and we made Ole Miss look like world beaters.
Help me on this, because I had a friend. He's 41 years old. He's a Morning Rush listener. He's telling me this weekend, man, this season sure is like raising a teenage daughter. She drives you nuts, and then you still love her regardless. I mean, Tommy, you've had a teenage daughter. You're going to have another teenage daughter. Is that a good equivalent for this football season?
Yeah.
Under Arkansas?
Well, I mean, you go through phases, but we're just starved for sustained success. And after Tennessee, we could see flashes. Tennessee's probably looking back and saying, man, that's a loss that right now, I think in most people's estimates, Tennessee's on the outside looking in at the college football playoff. That Arkansas loss is going to be damaging for Tennessee. That's going to be a loss they look back and say, man, we only had that. Oklahoma State's our moment right now.
Yeah.
Ole Miss still feels like they've got a chance for the playoff, and I'll be honest with you, Saturday they look like a playoff team.
Yeah, they've got Georgia this weekend. I haven't seen the line out for that just yet. I think that Ole Miss is still the underdog, but yeah, that's a big pivotal game for the Rebels, who look like they were out. Georgia 2.5-point favorite, but look like they're out of the discussion, and then have played games. Now, this is not that they blew out South Carolina at home earlier this season, and South Carolina was at home. Texas A&M also was on the wrong side of South Carolina. So it's a topsy-turvy college football season, and it's less enjoyable as an Arkansas fan because you feel like you haven't taken advantages of the games that counted. But from a college football standpoint, from a bird's eye view, Tommy, this has been an awesome college football season.
Oh, I think the parity, or however you wanted to describe it, in college football has been good for the fan. I've never been more intrigued with the games themselves, and I think it's harder to keep up with athletes on the move. But I think the entertainment portion of it, just the games we're watching on the field, for the most part, have been better than usual this year. And I hope that's the trend we're headed towards.
Let's hope it continues. All right, let's get into our opening drive this morning.
I believe in our kids. I believe in our coaches. We'll go look at it and see if we can't get it fixed. I believe we can.
Singleton going to keep it on an option right. Inside the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Arkansas. Malachi Singleton with some signs of life.
Past few games, we've allowed too many points. Even Mississippi State game, offense saved us because we still allowed almost 30 points. So really just figure it out and overall to start playing better ball.
You can see this Dallas Cowboys front starting to wear down. Pushing, getting a push, getting the touchdown. And it's Sanders ripping through the touchdown.
This is the opening drive presented by First Financial Mortgage in Fort Smith.
And I mentioned the South Carolina game. How about Rocket Sanders? I don't know how many got a chance to watch the South Carolina and Texas A&M game on Saturday night, but boy, did he have himself a night. And the entire South Carolina team, they went 44-20 over Texas A&M. Marcel Reed steps back a little bit, has an interception, 20 carries, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns for Rocket, and by far his best game of the season.
And you called that one. I mean, you felt like not only were they going to cover, they were going to win the game straight up. And A&M walked right into that trap. Night game, Columbia, South Carolina, and signature win for Beamer.
And they're one step away. Christian, your Dallas Cowboys unfortunately took a step back. Injuries now concern for Dak Prescott. And if you're a Cowboy fan, you're hot right now here on Hot Take Monday.
I kind of feel like Dak right now. If you read his lips during the game, he explains it all. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I can't say it on the air, but I mean, that's really where we are. And Jerry, I think, is finally realizing it, but you're 3-5, man. I mean, why does it have to take an atrocious start to your season for you to finally be like, man, I should have done something? That's not a good football team right now.
Nope. And they've got like the Washington football team, the Philadelphia Eagles look like they're both going to be putting down the stretch. Dallas Cowboys look like they're on their way to a rebuilding thing. Tommy, another one of our highlights in our opening drive was Malachi Singleton's touchdown. We had a call or two on the postgame show that suggested he should be the starting quarterback, whether Taylon Green is healthy or not for this Texas game. Where do you stand on that? I don't think there's a quarterback controversy, but apparently some in our fan base do.
I don't think that's going to fix the outcome of the season. I don't think Taylon Green's the problem. If that's the implication that a different quarterback, I think the problems start up front, the lack of depth on the offensive line. I mean, you talked about you didn't have Jaquindon Jackson, but you also didn't have Braylon Russell. So you were down to really one back against the best defensive front you've had. I understand the take by some fans, and I've heard and read some of that, but at the same time, I also think, is Taylon Green really the issue? Is he the reason this offense is sputtering? 31 points. I mean, to me, we talk way too much about the offense and what it isn't doing, and not nearly enough focus or conversation about the defense and where things are at with it.
Yeah, and Jackson Dart has a career day and breaks a record that Archie Manning's hold for 50-some-odd years. And you mentioned defense specifically. Landon Jackson, there's a clip there. You think about their last 3 games, they give up 63 points. I think it was 20-something to Ole Miss and then 34 to LSU. And I know they haven't been put in the best situations. For example, that goal line stand you talked about.
And Dart's in the gun. He's in the gun with Bentley in the backfield. They give it to Bentley. He didn't get in.
And then the fumble, was it a play or two later, whatever it was, where guy comes off the edge, sacks Taylon Green, and touchdown Ole Miss. So they're not put in the best situations by Arkansas's offense, but they have taken a severe step back. And part of the reason, in my opinion, of that is because, with the exception of Michael Van Buren, they played 2 veteran good quarterbacks. Some of their success early on this season, which is against guys that haven't necessarily played a lot of college football, particularly SEC football. But when you've seen guys, Dart's in his 3rd year of the program, Nussmeier's been there at LSU either since 2020 or 2021, and so they go up against guys that have a track record of college football, and it doesn't go so well. And now they're going to go up against a guy in Quinn Ewers, most likely next week, unless he gets injured, that has a lot of college football experience. They're going to go up against, we'll see if Brady Cook, what his status is down the stretch, but has some. Don't really care about the Louisiana Tech quarterback, but that's a major issue for this defense moving forward, Tommy.
Yeah, and that's an issue that they got to fix before the Texas game. And I'm afraid with hunting season and the outcome of that game, a lot of people we'll see what the turnaround, because a lot of people right now, you could offer them Texas tickets, and I don't know that they'd go. But we need the crowd there. You need the state there to give Arkansas a chance to have a home field win over Texas in a week, 10 days or whatever it is now.
And Tommy, I understand it's Texas, and I get that. But if you're in a situation like you just presented, and you are, what gives you reason and hope and belief that they are going to not just compete, but possibly win this game against Texas based on these last 2 appearances? Because Texas is in the same type of stratosphere as Ole Miss, and I hate to say it, and LSU. They're a really good football team. Now, they haven't been tested as much as they probably need to heading into college football playoff based on their schedule, but it's so difficult. I guess here would be my optimism, is Arkansas can't string together back-to-back good games, but this season they haven't played necessarily, with the exception of Oklahoma State and UAB, back-to-back bad games. It's usually been win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. That's how it's gone legitimately through 9 games this season. So maybe that's what you're holding on to. But like, if you're Sam Pittman and this team and this staff, you got to give reasons for fans to believe. You heard Pittman there in our opening drive talking about he still believes in the team. My question is, do you still believe in this team, based on them getting rocked at home in these last 2 games, specifically in this one, where Ole Miss, by the way, hadn't scored 30-plus points in an SEC game all season, and they hung 63 on you. Their backups were scoring on you. Watkins had 5 touchdowns on you. They didn't even have their best wide receiver out there, and embarrassed you in your home stadium in front of 72,000+ people.
All All right, that's your opening drive this morning. Ty, it's brought to you by First Financial Mortgage.
Yes, Ethan and his team at First Financial Mortgage, whether it's him, Emily, their entire team, can help you any mortgage thing you need. He's the best lender in town, might be the best golfer, too. If you need help with anything, give him a call at 479-782-9300 or go online at ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
Might be a good time, though, if you want to go to the Texas game, you've been looking for tickets, you can go to ArkansasRazorbacks.com or their official resale partner, SeatGeek.com, and probably secure tickets for that game right now. I know that many will probably opt, or some will opt for the deer stand and be out at deer camp, but I think there will still be a great crowd, and the university still got some tickets available, so you can go to ArkansasRazorbacks.com or call 1-800-982-HOGS. And Ty, I think they're, I think as we often see, as we nearly always see, the mood will shift over the next 10 or 12 days, and people will come up with their own reasons and their own logic as to why Arkansas can compete and possibly win against Texas. But right now, it is a dark cloud that we're all trying to cope with right now and kind of sort through.
And we're not going to hear from Sam Pittman today or Wednesday. No Sam Pittman live. Basketball gets going on Wednesday night. If you want to scout Arkansas's opponents, both Lipscomb and Baylor play tonight. Lipscomb plays to Queen tonight, and then you've got Baylor taking on Gonzaga. That game doesn't get going until 10:30 later on. But, Tommy, you mentioned that. I know that will be more of a focus next week, but I think people, as basketball season gets going, not just from Arkansas standpoint, but college basketball, people are not turn their complete attention, but they're going to focus more than they have to this point on what Arkansas basketball could offer this year.
Well, and, I've heard some people say, hey, I can't believe they lost to TCU. I think if you listen to Coach Cal after the game and kind of where you want things to be, it doesn't bother me, and I don't want to say he planned it that way. I don't want to say he coached him to a 1-point loss, but I don't think he lost any sleep at all over the weekend that his team lost by a point to TCU. I think it's probably maybe just the dose of medicine they need headed into the regular season.
Yep, here's what he said after the game.
Give TCU credit. They fought like crazy. We had every chance to win the game at the end. They made the plays and we did. We took tough shots, and they were trying to get fouled and get to the rim. My challenge will be, all right, let's learn how to win. We took a 1-on-3 shot with the ball up. We took a 3 from our 5-man what would you do that for? We turn it over on a lob because we look away and we throw it. So I got work to do. But the only way I would know it is in a game like this.
Tommy, I don't know how you feel, but I was happy they lost because, again, it's not like the legendary move. And I don't know why. Why am I blanking on the 92 Dream Team head coach? Old Pistons coach, Chuck Daly. What he threw that game against the college kids to get his guys focused before the Olympics. It's not necessarily that, but sometimes, like as a coach, you'll never admit this publicly, but you want your team to lose. And I think in this situation on Friday night, they have some areas that they need to work on, and I think they were overshadowed maybe a little bit because they beat the number 1 preseason team in the country in an exhibition game a week before. And now he'll get his team refocused. They've got their season opener, of course, in Bud Walton Arena coming up. And I don't know if I'll get a lot of people jumping on board with this. I'm happy they lost before this game Wednesday night.
I'm never happy if my team loses, but I'm not concerned about the one on Friday night. Maybe that's the way I feel about it, but it's not concerning at all. And, listen, they'll beat the lips off of Lipscomb if that's what they want to do. They'll beat the brakes off those guys. So
lips off of Lipscomb.
Well, I don't know. Maybe that's not the right pun, but the point is they'll dominate that team if that's what they choose to do. And I just think Arkansas, from what I saw when they needed to step up in the moment against Kansas, they've got the talent, they've got the speed at guard. And the question is, can they make the shot when they need it? They didn't Friday night against TCU, but I believe this is a team that ultimately is going to be in the hunt. What's the old phrase? I think Mike Anderson said they're going to be in the hunt for something when it all gets down to the end of March.
7:00 will be the game time and the tip-off for the Lipscomb game. We'll have 6:30 pregame coverage beginning on Wednesday night. It will also be on the SEC Network as well. Again, basketball gets going across colleges tonight, really today, actually.
Yeah, I was just looking here on the Bet Saracen app. No line out for that yet, and, of course, nothing for Arkansas football. You can already see the weekend lines that are available for this coming weekend's college football. Monday Night Football tonight. I know a lot of you are interested in that. Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 9.5. The Chiefs are favored. Over under 45.5. You can find that at betsaracen.com.
Here's my hot take today, Tommy. The Kansas City Chiefs received their first loss of the season at the hands of Baker Mayfield and the visiting Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It makes no sense sometimes why they lose at home in Arrowhead, but I think tonight the Tampa Bay Bucs go in there and get a big-time win against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs.
Well, they're 7-0, and I think the Bucs are they 4-3.
They're a good 4-4 team.
Yeah, 4-4.
They're not a bad 4-4 team.
4-4. Okay. So, well, very well. I mean, I think that's going to be one that entertains a lot tonight. So, anytime we get to see Mahomes play, that's a treat.
Yeah.
So.
You think about you've got college. You think about the week ahead. You've got college basketball beginning today. The Chiefs, and always a marquee opponent, or always a marquee team to discuss, especially in our listening area. You've got the college football playoff tomorrow night. I think there's something else going on tomorrow night. Then Arkansas basketball plays Wednesday and Saturday. I know it's Arkansas's bye week, but Tommy, there's plenty of sports entertainment on this week.
Yeah, it's going to be wet for a day or two. So, time change. I don't know about you. The time change will mess me up. I don't feel like I got an extra hour of sleep.
No,
Maybe you do, but well, I don't think you really get an extra hour of sleep. I think it's a myth. But it was kind of strange being out from a walk this morning. It was daylight at 6 a.m. So that was weird.
You reset all your clocks?
A lot of mine now, other than like the one on the clock, the one in the car does it itself. I mean, it's kind of, you don't have to really do that much anymore because it all pairs to your phone or whatever. So, no, I didn't reset any clocks. They were kind of all done. Woke up and feels later. You're not hungry at the same time, so it's kind of weird as well. Hey, if you're looking for a place that can do everything you need when it comes to metal fabrication and then make it look great with powder coating, see our friends at River City Coatings in Van Buren. Their number is 471-7675, or you can go to rivercitycoatings.com. They now offer laser cutting, press brake forming, and welding as well. So they are your one-stop shop for fabricating, forming, welding, and powder coating. So if you've got something like a fire pit or something you want to get maybe a Razorback logo put into, or your family name put into, or business logo put on, they can cut that out. They can make it look great, weld it up, and powder coat it all in one stop in one place. 479-471-7675. 471-7675, or Ty, go to rivercitycoatings.com.
More of the Morning Rush coming up next.
You guys keep rocking. I love the show.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baum-Walker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb-based brands.
He means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
This is the Morning Rush.
House here in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients better lives with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, now offering same-day crown service. Mention you heard this ad on ESPN Radio at your next appointment and receive a free bleaching kit or $100 off in-office accelerated whitening. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road-ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name-brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your #1 golf shop for over 30 years.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Is someone special to you missing out on life because of foot pain? Let's face it, if your feet hurt, you don't want to go anywhere. Give the gift of freedom. Check out our store for all kinds of options to benefit your special someone. We have perfect gifts for those suffering from a variety of foot issues, such as plantar fasciitis, bunions, tendonitis, diabetes care, neuropathy, or just tired and achy feet. Visit us today at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
I doubt you thought paint was anything like football, right? So you've got a favorite football team. Your painting team at the paint store in Van Buren gets you a solid primer, the perfect color, and a durable defense. That is what you want, right? Our team of Richards Paint and expertise always win for you. Whether contractor or do-it-yourself, we have the best team. The paint store in Van Buren. Go Hogs!
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. Loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
We still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown bar district.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up, home. Drop off downtown bar district.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush.
Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Got a chance to listen to Sam Pittman talk with Chuck after the game. Here were his opening thoughts following the loss.
We started extremely slow, had 6 penalties in the first quarter, and we did have the 4th down stop, but we give up a sack fumble for a touchdown. We couldn't protect. As the game started, we got in a hole, tried to make a little bit of run coming back, but we could never stop them. Dart was incredible today. Watkins, 5 touchdowns. We couldn't cover them, couldn't get to the quarterback. When you don't get to a guy that's got that kind of weapons and he's that talented, it's going to flare up and on you. And then when we were covering, we got penalized. We had our hands on them, and offensively, we couldn't sustain drives when we were inside the 30. So just give them credit. They whipped us today, and physically certainly ran by us on offense, on their offense.
You were asking earlier what happened. Well, Jordan Watkins happened, Tommy. 8 catches, 254 yards, 5 touchdowns on the Razorback secondary that has struggled as of late.
Yeah, Jackson Dart just had obviously a career day, and that's not hyperbole. That's actually what happened and setting all of the records. But the secondary was just, I don't want to go as far as say non-existent, but I don't think they've ever been that outmatched. They couldn't cover the tight end, and it didn't matter. And like you pointed out earlier, if they'd had Harris and their best receiver ready to go, I mean, how bad could it have been?
I don't want to know.
And I don't want to know.
Oh, man.
That was all done without their best wide receiver.
Yep. So Arkansas trying to get healthy, bounce back. Texas game already set for 11 o'clock next weekend. Basketball back in action, starting in action, I should say, for the first time for a real game this Wednesday night, 7 o'clock against Lipscomb. They'll play the Baylor Bears on Saturday at 6:30. Continuing on here, your Hog Update. Jonas Adu is one of 20 players on the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Center of the Year preseason watch list. We've seen John L. Davis pop up, see Boogie Flan pop up. Tommy, you mentioned there's going to be several Razorback basketball players that wind up on watch list and maybe postseason awards too, like all SEC and whatnot.
No, we're not done. We're not done with these type of stories, these type of announcements. So this is part of what goes along with having Coach Cal and the kind of talent he brings in. So what you want to see is that they're semifinalists and finalists, and he's going to have some players win awards over his time at Arkansas. I believe that.
Arkansas falls to TCU on Friday night, 66-65, despite a really good game from Adu Thiero.
Nelly had to get rid of it. Finds Thiero to the rim and the flush with 2 hands.
8 of 13 for 20 points. A lot of the guys did not play well outside of him. Boogie Flan, the only other one in double digits. They go 7 of 24 from 3 and fall in Fort Worth. It is kind of unique, Tommy, back-to-back weeks when you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth metro area. And I know for a lot of fans that don't necessarily get to go to Fayetteville and whatnot, they have 2 opportunities back-to-back weekends.
Yeah, and, just seeing the video and some of the video highlights we got to see, the Dickies Arena wasn't nearly as full as we maybe had thought there would be a crowd. But I think for the Baylor game, those will be 2 fan bases that I think fill that building up pretty well. And it'll be for real. It'll be a game that counts. And I know your dad's interested. Baylor Brad's interested. Yep. He'll be there. So this be one that, on the off week, some will make the trip down there. Yep. But I think you'll see. Were you a little bit surprised in just seeing the background of some of that video of all those empty seats?
I think that I heard Chuck say about 3,000 or so that morning on Friday. So I still thought to myself, well, there'll be people that buy a lot more the day of because they're cheap. But people are still in football season, Tommy, I think. Is that fair?
And what night was it?
Friday.
Friday night?
High school football night.
What's a big deal in Texas? High school football.
Yeah.
So.
All right, well, that is your Hog Update on this beautiful, I say beautiful, a little rainy Monday morning.
Been wet. Yeah. It's a soggy Monday.
Yep, soggy Monday. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Did you get a chance to watch any other SEC games this weekend?
Oh, yeah, I watched South Carolina and A&M. That one was pretty entertaining. Didn't watch a lot of Vanderbilt in their game at Auburn, but they came out with a win. But probably the one I watched more than, besides the Arkansas game was the night game with South Carolina and A&M.
Yeah, which ended up South Carolina pulling away late. Florida and Georgia ended up being a pretty good football game. It's a 2-touchdown game at the end, 34-20, but there was a late interception. Give Georgia credit, or Florida credit. They bottled up Carson Beck for a good chunk of that game, and he was tossing picks all over the place.
It's a 4-man rush, and again, plenty of time to backpedal and look down the field. He threw it in harm's way, and it's intercepted. Beck has plenty of time across the middle. There's another pick. Back on 2nd and 9. As he throws, it's wobbly, and it's picked off again.
I know Georgia is favored heading into Oxford this weekend, but I think if you're Ole Miss and that defensive line plays like they did on Saturday, you got to have some confidence that Carson Beck's going to make some mistakes in Vaught-Hemingway Stadium.
Well, and the thing is, and we've learned this, that there's not a lot of being able to predict next week what happened based on last week. But Because I watched Ole Miss. We were watching Ole Miss. Hard to figure out how in the world they've lost 2 games.
Yeah.
With the way they looked and how physically dominant they were. Hey, there's no better place to watch the games or even basketball or take in the Coach Cal show than at Sassy's Barbecue in Fayetteville. Enjoy their award-winning smoked wings, the baby back ribs, the famous nachos, and their drink specials while you're cheering on the Hogs and your favorite team. Monday Night Football tonight. Dining in, probably better today. Outside when the weather is good. They got a great patio at both locations. That's Sassy's Original Red House on College and Sassy's Barbecue off Weddington. They're ready to take care of you and get you ready for your tailgate with razor packs and more. You can order online at sassysbarbecue.com. Hey, and don't forget about happy hour 3 to 6 when it comes to barbecue, catfish, burgers, and more. Nobody does it better than Sassy's. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
All right, when we return, we got our Morning Rush Daily Question. More thoughts from Sam Pittman and you following a 63-31 loss.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
I made a pizza with pork rinds and sour cream.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Elizabeth.
This is Robert. And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
Folks, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
No, it's not Christmas yet.
No, Mom, he's referring to football season.
Oh, speaking of football, guess what we just got in?
Season tickets?
Sideline passes?
Well, close. We just started receiving the Nike sideline apparel like hats and polos.
Yeah, but did we get jerseys?
Yeah, we got both kinds, cardinal and white.
We also have youth and adult sizes.
That's great. People have been asking for that for quite some time now. Matt, by the way, I did some research, and there's no shot for going viral.
Oh, Lord. Mom, he's a goner.
Anyway, besides Nike, we also have Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, and many other brands.
All at the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole, which is 989 South Razorback Road, next to Baumwalker Stadium. Matt, you tell them all about them interweb page brands.
He means the website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Or give us a call at 479-STADIUM. That's 479-782-3486.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hogs.
This is the Morning Rush.
Say goodbye! Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
In Arkansas, we know the value of hard work, community, and service. Steve Womack has been a steadfast voice for us in Congress, always putting our needs first. From supporting local businesses to investing in our schools, Steve Womack has been there every step of the way. On November 5th, vote to re-elect Steve Womack, a proven leader, a trusted neighbor.
I'm Steve Womack, and I approve this message because our future is about more than just politics.
Paid for by Womack for Congress.
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Need a little extra cash? Go see Rusty at Golden Gym Pond, 310 West Center in Greenwood. Get the money you need with loans on jewelry, guns, tools, and electronics. If you're looking for a gift, they have a large selection of jewelry to choose from, and Rusty can take care of all jewelry repair. Stop by Golden Gym Pond today, 310 West Center in Greenwood, or call 996-2792. Open 9 to 5:30 Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. and 9 to 3 on Wednesday. Golden Gym Pond.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you stuck in a paper jam of printer prices? Paper cuts from budget cuts? Don't throw in the towel. Call Dixie Digital Imaging and dive into our new and used inventory blowout. We're slashing prices on top-of-the-line Xerox, Brother, and Epson printers and multifunction devices. Gently used or brand new models that are tired of being in our warehouse. Don't miss out on these deals. Call 479-783-6600 for more details. Quantities and availability are limited. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
In the communities we serve, we know your energy is best spent on the things you enjoy. That's why we're helping you save your energy with natural gas. More efficient than other energy sources, save your energy for cheering on the Hogs. Be tailgate ready with your natural gas-powered outdoor grill. Enjoy fast, cozy comfort from your natural gas fireplace when ball games get chilly. At AOG, we know your Razorback pride runs deep. Ours does too. And so does our commitment to caring for the communities we serve with always on energy. Visit AOGC.com.
It's Ty Richardson with owner and operator Cecil Gardner with Jazzco Graphics, 16 years in the industry. How do people see what you've made over the years, Cecil?
Google or Yahoo it or Bing it. Jazzco Graphics Design, JAAZCO, Monday through Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And sometimes I'm here after. So if that open sign is on, I'm here. Y'all come on in. Jazzco Graphics Design, 2415 Midland. It's on the corner of Midland and Kelly. Jazzco Graphics, the one-stop shop.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Social Morning Rush Daily Question.
All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
It's going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nate and Christian's Place in Lowell online at carpatsocial.com.
You know, in football, we like to set preseason record expectations. We'll write them down. We got them thumbtacked up on the wall.
Yeah, we do.
In the Busch Light Studios here. That I think I was at 7-5. Big C 7-5. You were a 6-6 guy. But we don't really do that for basketball because is there? How do you? Oh, they're 27-6. There's just it's just different. But as we're nearly on the doorstep here, Wednesday night's the opening game of the year. We've had 2 preseason games. Ty, let's talk about preseason expectations for this year's Razorback basketball team, and we'll talk about them in terms of regular season SEC championships or placement. Let's say championship or placement in the league, and then also finish in the tournament this year. Where are you expecting Arkansas? And what's a reasonable expectation? And John Calipari's first year for this basketball team in the regular season, SEC finish, and then also how far should they go in the tournament this year?
I think a reasonable expectation. The media picked them 4th. I think within the top 5 is reasonable regular season finish, and I think to make it to the second weekend with the amount of money you're allegedly spending on this roster is reasonable. I don't think it's reasonable to expect them to go to San Antonio, Texas this next year for the Final Four, but I think second weekend, based on who you have, as long as injuries don't derail the season, that would be my kind of expectations.
You expecting Alabama's been the darling pick, Tennessee too. Why couldn't Arkansas be second or third in this league?
Second or third, I think is within reach, but asking the coach in year one, as good as a coach that Calipari has been over time in his career, especially in the regular season, it's just I think it's too much, to be honest. And again, I don't really care what they do in the regular season as long as they have postseason success. Yeah. I mean, Cal State is like last 5 years in Lexington, they've been really good in the regular season. They had done squad and postseason. It's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, that's kind of my thought is don't really care what happens, until about late February, early March either. But I'm with you. I think this team will lose some games. They should win early. They'll win some games that maybe they'll upset an Alabama somewhere along the way, but or a Tennessee. But I think in the end, I'm with you. This team is a second weekend team from what we saw in the Kansas game. We didn't get to see it firsthand. Not many did against TCU, but I think by the time we start really feeling things out, get to that game in New York City in December, play Michigan, I think we're going to be looking at a team that we feel confident being a Sweet 16 team. So I'm with you. My expectations get to the second weekend, be in the Sweet 16, and have what I would say is a year that meets expectations with Razorback basketball.
What about you, Big C? What are your expectations pre- and postseason?
Yeah, second weekend I think is what you can ask for. I keep thinking about UConn and how good they are. I mean, because that's kind of the benchmark right now. I mean, in order to beat a team like that, you've got to be like really good and really hot going into the tournament. And Arkansas could be hot going into the tournament, and that's really all that matters. The regular season doesn't really, as a whole, I mean, you want to have a good record, but it doesn't really matter. It's about when you're playing your best basketball. So if they go into this, the tournament hot, I mean, they could probably win it all, but that's a big if. And so a Sweet 16 I think would actually probably make most fans satisfied, but I don't know if that's realistic. So at least the second weekend.
Alan says Elite Eight as he's texting, and you can text in your predictions again, 877-377-6963. That is your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily Question. I was there yesterday, actually, with Christian. Whether it's Christian, Nate, two Rogers boys, they have built this thing from the ground up. It's the #1 indoor golf facility in all of Arkansas. You can play over 500 courses. They've got men's leagues going on right now that they're really excited about. If you want to create your own league amongst your friends, you can do so. We mentioned the weather. Hopefully the weather stays like it has been, but we're probably going to head into winter pretty soon. And when it's that the case and you can't go outside Northwest Arkansas when it's 20, 30 some odd degrees, but you still want to play golf, then stop by Cart Pass Social in Lowell. 122 Grant Place, 479-487-3622, or check them out online at cartpasssocial.com.
It is a Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. The best brands, the best prices, and a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. What are your hot takes following Arkansas's thumping by Ole Miss over the weekend? A lot of people, pretty upset with, and I don't know about you, but in the text groups I've been in, and I've tried to kind of temper the conversation in some ways. It's automatic when you lose, somebody's got to get fired, right? Need to start looking at buyout terms and people quoting and talking about the terms on Sam's buyout. But man, you look at the world we live in, and the revenue sharing that's coming up and the cost of doing business coming up. I think there's going to be a lot of fan bases that maybe feel like some do in the Arkansas fan base that got to come to terms with the reality. ADs aren't going to have the liberty to pull the trigger as quickly as we've seen in the past.
And that's what I wanted to jump into. I don't think, this is my hot take, I don't have Arkansas's financials. I'm not in Hunter Yurachek's office. I can't ask him. But Tommy, I don't think they have the money to let him go. And he's going to be your football coach, and I don't want him to get fired. I've said that openly. Like, I want them to win out the rest of the season. They're probably going to lose to Texas. They're probably going to lose to Missouri. They'll beat Louisiana Tech. They'll be 6-6. Where we'll see where they end up bowl eligibility wise. But it's my opinion, I don't think they have the money to let him go, and that was, I think, part of the reason. Like, when you, and not just in here in Fayetteville, but down the stretch. And again, just to qualify this, I don't think he should be fired. But for those that want him gone, I don't think they have the money to do so.
And
personally,
it's not just buying out a coach, and I'm just speaking in general terms, not just Arkansas's ability to buy out a contract, but I think this is going to stretch across the college football landscape. No question. But you got to think about this also. It's not just letting your coach and the staff and the guarantees you got there. And deal with those obligations. Then you want to go hire a coach. You got to buy out their contract, and what's that going to cost? $1 million, $2 million, $3 million. Depending on who you hire. A really good coach that's going to excite your fan base is going to be $5 million or more, perhaps. Yeah. You're not in a position to do that. And a school like Auburn. You think Auburn's happy with what's going on right now? They're another one.
Great
raising hell. But you can't afford, particularly when the ADs really don't know the cost structure of what you're getting ready to go into, because the court hasn't completely finalized this settlement.
Yeah, that's a good point. Here's where I think fans are frustrated here at 9:48 on a Monday morning. Is while this may not be true, the optics, it doesn't feel like that there's any repercussions or punishments divvied out after a performance like that. If you fail miserably on a project that you've been assigned, a big project of consequence for your company, and you mess it up, there's a chance that you could get let go, or you're going to get a ton lashing come Monday or Friday from your boss. Now, I could be wrong. Maybe Hunter Yurachek walked into Sam's office after the game and ripped him a new one. But I think like we the term pound of flesh, like you hear that sometimes. Like fans want a pound of flesh after the game. We want to tear into somebody. That's why our post-game call-in shows are so nuts sometimes, because people just go off. But from the outside looking in, it doesn't seem like that there is that what fans want. It just seems like, oh, well, they got clobbered in another game. They're going to do their best next time. And that's not how it is, but that's how I think a lot of fans feel, is there doesn't seem to be anything that is like, do you get where I'm coming from on that?
No, I mean, they use when it comes to referees, they need to be held accountable.
Exactly.
The word accountability comes up all the time. Well, trust me, there's accountability. We just don't see it with these coaches. But I what good would Hunter Yurachek walking in there and tearing into somebody? What difference is that going to make?
But that's what, again, you're exactly right. Probably not much, if any. But that's what fans want to see, because they feel like that they spent their hard-earned money on tailgating, on tickets, parking, whatever the case may be, and it's a lot more significant in terms of money to them than, let's say, the salary of an athletics director, the salary of your head football coach. And this is, again, you pointed out, and you were accurate to say this, fans in Auburn, Alabama aren't happy right now. There's plenty of other SEC fan bases that aren't satisfied with how their season has gone thus far. But, of course, we're talking about what's occurring in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and fans are angry after another blowout loss at home. And the other thing about this, Tommy, there is a cycle of this. This is not me overreacting to one game. This is continuous the last 3 years. And there are little blimps. The blimps are the wins. The losses are the norm.
Well, you want to be competitive at least, and no other. Ole Miss hasn't done that to any other team in the SEC. Like Kentucky beat them, obviously.
They went to South Carolina and blew the brakes off them. But you mentioned the Kentucky. It just doesn't make any sense that Ole Miss would lose at home to Kentucky and then come to your place and beat you by 32 points and score 60 plus on the season. Their highest total by 30 some odd points.
Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing, the outcome on Saturday. I think, I will say you let go of the rope a little bit in that second half, and Ole Miss didn't really let
Oklahoma.
up. Yeah. Brought to you by West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services. There's nothing worse than starting out on Monday morning with a plumbing issue, and certainly with a clogged up drain with all the rain we've had, you might need someone to unclog that landscaping drain or that drain in your home or business. Call our friends at West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services. They can be on their way today, even on a soggy Monday like right now, and get that drain flowing the right way again. 479-646-5151, 646-5151 for West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services.
See, you mentioned the records earlier. I mean, I hate to say it, Tommy, but I don't have any confidence whatsoever about the Texas game in less than 2 weeks. The Missouri game to end the season.
Never play good up there.
Yeah, I still think they're going to beat Louisiana Tech in 6-6. So while that prediction I had before the season is accurate, are you happy? Are you disappointed? Are you just like lethargic?
Well, no, because you felt like it could be better.
Yeah. I mean, the Oklahoma State game is still the one that's stuck in your crawl. But the other game, I mean, I know Texas A&M was a 4-point loss, but if you watch the game, they dominated that game for the most part thoroughly. I think it's just a little disheartening the way you played against some good opponents here at home lately.
Yep, and that's exactly right. And when you think about, but we go through this cycle. Everybody's down. We're never going to win again. And, by this weekend, we'll start seeing some lighter skies. Kind of like right now. Sun's starting to come out on the western side of the state after all that rain and thunder overnight. Did it wake you up in the middle of the night?
It did not, but it probably needed to.
Probably still going to have to mow the yard a time or two. WT Equipment has their closeout deals on Hustler zero-turn mowers. These machines are built like tanks and drive like sports cars with fabricated welded steel decks and all the power that you need and a great warranty to match. Don't settle for cheap units from the big box stores. Stop in and see our friends at WT Equipment, and they'll guide you to the right mower for you and your budget and your lawn. Hurry, the supplies in this deal won't last long. They're priced to move at WT Equipment, your partner in progress. Find a location online at WTEquip.com.
Hour 2 coming up next. Stay with us. It's a Hot Take Monday edition of the Morning Rush.
It's that time of year, jackpot season. Play the new $1 Million Jackpot Scratch-Off ticket from the Arkansas Scholarship Lottery. You might just, win one. It's the biggest instant prize of the year, and that's just the icing on the cake. There's more than $50 million in prizes out there waiting for a winner. Be that winner. Try the new $1 Million Jackpot ticket in stores now at a lottery retailer near you. Happy jackpot season. Call 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs.
On ESPN Arkansas, download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Basketball fans, it's that time of year again. The NBA is back. From opening tip-off to buzzer beaters, BetOnline has you covered with the best odds, biggest promotions, and live in-game betting on all of your favorite team. This season, every game matters. BetOnline has every stat, matchup, breakdown, and live odds to bet on during the games. And it's not just the NBA. BetOnline has odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, to even political props. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in DeQueen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
On ESPN Arkansas, download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Basketball fans, it's that time of year again. The NBA is back. From opening tip-off to buzzer beaters, BetOnline has you covered with the best odds, biggest promotions, and live in-game betting on all of your favorite teams. This season, every game matters. BetOnline has every stat, matchup, breakdown, and live odds to bet on during the games. And it's not just the NBA. BetOnline has odds on everything from football, MLB playoffs, NHL, to even political props. Head to the website today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Fan. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call.
I told them that we can't have 80 going to go fight and 20 that don't. I told them if we're not willing to fight now, then we won't fight the rest of our life. But if we do, we'll fight the rest of our life. I like this team. I hate that we got beat. I hate it for the university. I hate it for the state. But I do like this team. And I know I'm going to catch hell for that, but I do.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live on your favorite radio station, hitthatline.com and the Hit That Line Now app.
Don't say it's a fine morning or I'll shoot you.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson.
I'm a peacock! You gotta let me fly!
And Tommy Kraft.
They're gonna go nuts when he hits this thing.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
How about this, cowboy?
Call or text the program at 877-377-6963.
Let's stand up and call those. Oh.
Nothing left of my heart. It's gonna be so hard to make a new start. 'Cause today.
So I specifically cut out this song for Tommy. Well, George Strait as we get going in hour number 2. And he's left us to go play golf. But it's just a sad, sad day following a 63-31 loss. Your football team lost. Your basketball team lost. Christian's Cowboys lost. And I know we got a lot of other Dallas Cowboy fans. I need some positivity in my life. Please, 877-377-6963. One of the things I mentioned earlier in hour 1 is like clocks fall back. You had to adjust some things. Now, there are some clocks like your iPhone. If you have an iPhone or if you have an Android, a lot of times they will adjust themselves. But maybe you had to adjust some clocks around the house or wherever in your life that you utilize somehow, some way, shape, or form. Is Arkansas football going to adjust following 2 losses at home? Are you going to see adjustments play out at home against Texas in a week and a half or a little more than a week and a half, and then against Missouri and Louisiana Tech? We'll discuss that hour 2. Hot Take Monday, always brought to you by our friends at Wheels RV. Appreciate Chris, Lee J, and their entire team, everything they do for you. That lifetime warranty when you get a new RV. It's awesome. You can travel across the state. You can travel across the country. Come by and see them again, 5 miles west off Exit 72 in Springdale, Grand Design, Forest River. They've got all the different RV, Brinkley, everything you're looking for, you're going to find it at Wheels RV. Seek, explore, and discover with Wheels RV. Sam Pittman, again, after the game, still has some belief. Here was his closing statement.
We've got 3 games left. And if we can win each one of them, we can hold our head up and go on to whatever bowl. This team, I told them that we can't have 80 going to go fight and 20 that don't. I told them if we're not willing to fight now, then we won't fight the rest of our life. But if we do, we'll fight the rest of our life. I like this team. I hate that we got beat. I hate it for the university. I hate it for the state. But I do like this team. And I know
I'm gonna catch hell for that, but I do. I like the kids, and I think they'll come back and fight and correct a lot of things that were wrong today, if we physically can do that, which we can, and come back and give a good showing when we go out there and play Texas the next time we're out there.
Landon's phoned in from Hot Springs this morning. Our number 877-377-6963. Landon, are you going to see any resolve from this football team in their final 3 games?
Man, well, honestly, if you got Sam Pittman coming in from Georgia as O-line coach, and we play these SEC teams at home, and Taylor can't even get it. He has to take off out the pocket. He's like running for his life. And we can't have that. We need a coach that comes in here that has control, discipline, and not just sit there and look at the game chewing gum. We need a coach on both sides of the ball, not just on one side of the ball. I think he's a one side of the ball kind of coach. I also think that if we ran the ball a little bit more, we'd have a little bit better outcome too. But with our defensive spread on our defensive backs, I think that we realize that we're just not SEC material for good wide receivers in the SEC.
Yeah, and it should be noted, unfortunately, Landon, appreciate your phone call this morning. Ole Miss didn't have their best wide receiver. I know Jordan Watkins, with over 250 yards and 5 touchdowns, looked like their best wide receiver, but they still didn't have that going. All right, it is hour number 2 of the Morning Rush, and it's brought to you by our friends at Sawyer's Sunrooms.
This hour of the Morning Rush is presented by Sawyer's, everything for outside the house.
I think to Landon's point, it's also aggravating. Listen, I don't like doing shows like this, following blowout losses. It's not fun, to be quite honest. And I'm not trying to pile on Sam Pittman. I'm just pointing out things that, unfortunately, have been difficult for him and have been reasons why this football team has lost, and in some cases, like Saturday, gotten blown out. Offensive line, I know Ole Miss has a really good defensive line, and they have the best scoring defense in college football statistically heading into that game. I think with Arkansas scoring 31, that changed it a little bit, but gave up 8 sacks to Arkansas's 1. That is a major reason also why you lost that football game on Saturday, Big C.
Are they that good? Are they better than Texas A&M and Tennessee's defensive line? I mean, what do you think? There's no reason. I mean,
they've South Carolina's got a really good D-line. Texas A&M's got a good D-line. LSU, not statistically has been as good as, say, A&M and Ole Miss. I mean, Texas has got a D-line. I mean, it's the SEC, right? And I've heard different people talk about that. That's just what you signed up for. And it's the competitive nature. It's the wear and tear that you have to go through. It's part of it, unfortunately. And I hope that I'm wrong. I hope when Texas comes into town in 2 weeks, they give them all they can handle. And maybe they get a win. But there is, based on what has occurred these last 2 games, and I know things flipped, and I know narratives change over the course of a season. We're 9 games in. I understand that. But you're coming off back-to-back dreadful performances at home on both sides of the football. And I know that Arkansas scored 31 points in this game, but they also got a ton of possessions in this one. Ole Miss scored 8 touchdowns in 12 possessions. That final possession just ended the game. So who knows what they could have done. Plus, they put in their second-team quarterback. Dart would have ended up with like 8 touchdowns if he had stayed in the entire game. All right, Brian is called in. Brian, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, Ty?
How are you?
Yeah, let me drop that off. I'm doing good. I think you've already pointed out, and I believe Arkansas's defensive backs really aren't that good like they're portrayed to be. And that was shown by Ole Miss. I mean, do you think there's a fix for Quinn Ewers and company? I believe that Quinn Ewers hasn't been 100% since his injury. I think his open date has probably helped him quite a bit. What do you think, Ty?
I think they're going to be in a world of trouble when they come into Fayetteville, to be honest. And I think that when you've gone up against veteran quarterbacks, i.e. Jackson Dart, Garrett Nussmeier, Bowman, not so much. Oklahoma State's just not any good. You should have won that game. You wish you had that one back. But the 2 best quarterbacks that you played this season, being the LSU and Ole Miss one, they've they've carved you up pretty good. And that's partially not getting enough pressure that you need to. The other part of it, you don't have elite corners on the outside cover corners. Maybe your best one is still injured. Don't know about if he'll be back. I know Sam Pittman touched on that a little bit. Here was his thoughts on Jalen Braxton.
Well, all I know is that he's ran on grass. Before it was always in the pool and on the treadmill in the pool and not fully weighted. So that's all I know, that he's played on the grass. He has not practiced or anything like that. So I can't really answer that question until next week.
Don't know if he'll be back. Again, Sam Pittman will not meet with the media today like he typically does. No Sam Pittman live on Wednesday either. So we don't know the status of Jalen Braxton. We'll have to wait and see if game week, if there's a possibility of his return. And maybe that could be, you're asking for an answer, Brian? I think you're not the only one. I think a lot of Arkansas fans are asking for the answer for not just this defense, but this secondary as well. Again, hour number 2 of the Morning Rush on Mondays is brought to you by our friends at Sawyer's Sunrooms. For everything outside of the house, sunrooms, patios, covers, pergolas, driveways, and windows, including decorative concrete. Visit them online at Sawyers-Sunrooms.com. That's Sawyers-Sunrooms.com. Buzz Sawyer and his entire team would love to help you out in the River Valley and in Northwest Arkansas. One more time, Sawyers-Sunrooms.com. To the SEC update we get into. You've got some crazy outcomes this weekend. South Carolina upsets Texas A&M, a close one between Florida and Georgia. What else happened in the conference? We'll let you know when we return next.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
This is former Arkansas football coach Ken Hatfield, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
All the Road Hogs have the hog calls and the tailgate ready to roll.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road-ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Stop by the Golf Nut today and check out the full line of lab putters featuring Lie-Angle Balanced technology. Lab putters were used by 14% of professionals in the 2024 Masters Tournament. All models of the new Scotty Cameron Phantom putters are in stock, including the longer 38-inch model. Come discover the biggest selection of name-brand clubs, apparel, and accessories in the region. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue, your #1 golf shop for over 30 years.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
The long wait is almost over, Waldron. Wave Rural Connect will be opening the Waldron Zone for orders November the 18th. If you registered before the 18th, you still need to put in your product order when Waldron opens. Amazing fiber internet and phone, all from a local provider in Ozark, Arkansas, is coming to Waldron. Pre-register online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
The best things in life never change. They just get better, like Hardee's Original Bag, just $6.99. loaded with fries, a drink, and 2 full-size favorites. A juicy charbroiled double cheeseburger, melty hot ham and cheese sandwich, or crispy hand-breaded chicken tender wrap. Choose any 2 plus fries and a drink, all only $6.99. Hardee's Original Bag, loaded with handcrafted goodness. It's the greatest meal deal for your buck. Available for a limited time at participating restaurants.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote. Get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
But except we've got SEC finals. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
Brought to you by Burton Pools and Spas. Trusted pool experts and your source for backyard fun. Locations in Springdale, Fort Smith, and now in Greenland. Always online at burtonpools.com.
Man, Rocket Sanders had a great Saturday night.
3rd down and 1.
And Sanders ripping through the hole. One man might catch him. Touchdown. 52 yards.
Here's a bounce outside.
Sanders puts the punctuation on his best performance as a Gamecock.
He was awesome in that game. Over 140 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. South Carolina blows out Texas A&M in Columbia as they get it done 44-20. Other games this weekend include the Georgia Bulldogs coming up big in a victory over Florida 34-20. Christian, I don't know if you watched that game, but Carson Beck was throwing picks left and right. They're going to have to play a lot better this weekend in Oxford if they're going to come out with the win against Lane Kiffin and company.
Yeah, he'll have one of those games where he's just throwing picks left and right, but I think he's like one of those big play quarterbacks. He's going to try to force balls in and whatever, and luckily it hasn't really hurt him. I guess the Alabama game, it did come back to bite him a little bit, but when he's throwing picks like that, you face a good team in the playoff, that's enough to get you beat right there. So, I don't know what you do if you just, they've kind of had quarterbacks in the past that, just hit check downs and whatever. Beck, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to be that type of quarterback. He'll take shots deep. He'll try to force it in there. Florida made some good plays and it kept them in the game, but I think you kind of have to live with that at this point if you're Georgia. Yep. You just that's just who you are. He's going to make mistakes.
Continue on games this weekend. Tennessee defeats Kentucky 28-18. Oklahoma beats Maine 59-14. Vanderbilt gets a road win. Vanderbilt is bowl eligible as they defeat Hugh Freeze's Auburn Tigers 17-7. And then Mississippi State beats Massachusetts 45-20. Mike Elko loses, like I said, on Saturday. I know that he's done a great job in College Station, but to me, the SEC Coach of the Year is Clark Lee. Based on their expectations, I forget where they were ranked. I'm talking about A&M was ranked in the preseason by the media, but I would give the SEC Coach of the Year to Clark Lee, and they've still got, South Carolina this weekend in Nashville, LSU in Baton Rouge, and Tennessee in Nashville to close out the season. That'd be something if they beat Tennessee to win their season. All right, that is your SEC update this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Burton Pools and Spas. Final day of the warehouse clearance sale going on. So if you're in need of a hot tub, well, then get one from the Hot Springs Hot Tub at Burton Pools and Spas. You've got Greenland, you've got Springdale, and you've also got Fort Smith where you can take advantage of their warehouse clearance sale, starting at just $39.99 and payments as low as $58 a month. Again, Hot Springs Hot Tub Warehouse clearance sale, Springdale, Greenland, and in Fort Smith. Burn pools and spas. We don't just sell hot tubs. We build long-term relationships. Let's talk to the Mouth. He's called in this morning from Searcy. What's going on, the Mouth?
Oh, Ty. I've got two things I've got to say today. We need to change the Chuck and Bo show to the Mouthpiece. They are the mouthpiece for Razorback athletics, for Razorback football.
Why do you say
We've
that?
got to change. I just think they're not going to let anybody get on there and just rip the hog. This was embarrassing Saturday. Things have to be done upstairs. Things have to be done at the end of the season.
I don't agree with everything that Chuck and Bo say, but I think they took calls from everyone this morning, Brent, and go on.
I have to agree. But here is my thoughts. To raise I go to the concession stand to buy some peanuts, and a bag of peanuts cost me almost $10 because our athletic director, Hunter, I don't know what you call him. You're a check.
Don't even know his name.
No brain or whatever. He raises our concession prices 3% to get NIL money raised. Hunter, take a $500,000 pay cut and give it to NIL. You would be just fine. You'd make about $800,000 a year. That'd be just fine for you. You and your wife can live comfortably and family on $800,000 a year. Our defense is doing what they did last year.
Yeah.
They started off great, and at the end of the year, they go kapooey, and they went kapooey Saturday. They went kapooey. They couldn't cover me, Ty Richardson. They couldn't cover me, and you know how I roll.
Quite literally.
That is, I literally roll. So, yeah, this is ridiculous. Coaching staff, we have to have some major changes. Coach Pittman has got to answer questions about how we can't play good at home. That's all I can say about that. And thank you for your time.
Thank you for calling in. 877-377-6963. So Sam Pittman did answer questions after the game. We won't hear from her for a while. But again, in all of this, in the 32-point loss, in the way the offense played and the way the defense played, in offense, you scored some points. You liked what you saw from Malachi. He was 11-14, 2 touchdowns total, over 200 passing yards. I remember there were some positive things. But in all of this, and it doesn't get lost because it's just repeated, but it has to get hammered. You can't do this to your fans at home. Like, I'm not asking you to go on the road and win all these big-time games. Like, that's not what I'm asking. But what I think what I think a fan, and I know fan's short for fanatic, so it's not always, logic is not always the right word, but you've got to, as a head coach, realize how important home games are. And I'm not saying Sam Pittman does, but the only thing we see is the actions on the field. And the actions on the field don't necessarily reflect what our fan base feels about how this team should perform at home, right? I don't think I'm wrong in saying that. And it's an ongoing thing. It's not a blip. This has happened for the last 3 years continuously. And I hope it changes. I hope when the Texas Longhorns come into town next Saturday that they get everything they get from this Arkansas defense, from the Arkansas's offense. And I know Arkansas did not play good coming off the bye playing LSU, but you hope that the season is not just a win against Louisiana Tech down the stretch and wherever you end up in a bowl game, right? You hope there's more to that. I don't know if there will be, but Big C, you hope there's at least something outside of just a Louisiana Tech win that gets people excited. And you're just expecting that. You expect to beat Louisiana Tech. They're not any good. That's just an expectation and a rightful expectation if you're an Arkansas Razorback football fan.
Yeah, you better beat Louisiana Tech, and that'll get you to a bowl, but that just doesn't really get people excited anymore, especially the way bowls are treated now. But what will get you excited a little bit is beating Texas. And, it hasn't really shown that that's possible, just the way they played at home lately. But, I mean, you would like to think they'll be up for that game. And then you got Mizzou at the end of the year. That's on the road, so you may win that game. Who knows?
Yep, who knows? 877-377-6963 if you want to call or text us, Big C and me, for the next 47 minutes or so, 37 minutes or so as we continue on the morning rush. Hey, Gaston's White River Resort. I'm going to do my best to tell you what Tommy usually does during this time, whether it's the cabins, the fully equipped cabins, the awesome nature my parents all experienced, and again, the world-class fishing that people fly from all over the place. Check it out at Gastons.com, their Facebook, their social media. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time. Every time.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
It does my heart good when Texas football, Texas basketball, and Texas baseball suck.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury. Every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is The Morning Rush.
The first thing people notice when they drive up to your home or walk in any room of your house is the color. And if you're looking for the perfect color and the perfect paint, you'll find it at the Paint Store in Van Buren. Hi, Tommy Kraft here. The Paint Store in Van Buren gives you hometown service from people who know what they're talking about. You don't have to chase them down to get help at the Paint Store. They're always there to help you get that perfect color and that perfect match for your project. If you're looking for the perfect paint color, it's at the Paint Store, 1414 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren.
From the Buffalo River to the Louisiana line, from the Texas and Oklahoma borders to the capital city and into the Delta, the natural beauty, the natural resources, and the hardworking citizens make Arkansas's 4th District more than just the heart of the natural state. It is a land of opportunity to raise families, to build communities, and to do our part for a brighter future. I'm Congressman Bruce Westerman. It's an honor to serve you. I approve this message and sincerely ask for your vote.
Paid for by Westerman for Congress.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're needing a used car, we've got them. Everything from the most affordable cash cars to road-ready certified with warranty. The best used cars your money can buy. And we've got a finance option for everyone, whether you have great credit and you're looking for the best rate or you're needing to build your credit with a reputable lender. We've got you. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Postseason is underway, and Jelco Outdoors has all your archery and hunting equipment to help you bag that big buck. Select new compound bows by Bowtech, Elite, and Hoyt. Save $200 off. Beartech crossbow packages, now only $329.99. Save $200 off select Raven crossbows, clothing, boots, tree stands, saddle equipment, feeders, nut grub, and grunt calls. Jelco has it all for you. Good luck and safe hunting. And remember, a great hunt begins at Jelco Outdoors.
You never know what you will walk up on or find over the hill at the Tackle Box. For almost 50 years, the Tackle Box has been your home for hunting and fishing supplies and some of the best outdoor stories. Whether guns, ammo, fishing supplies, or home decor, come back and see them again. They even buy your old fishing tackle or guns. The Tackle Box, your sports store for hunting, fishing, firearms, and more. 3010 Street, Fort Smith, 646-3193.
The adventure starts at the Tackle Box for sportsmen just like you.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
The Newmeyer family is a mainstay in Fort Smith, and their newest restaurant, the Whippoorwill, has so much to offer. Friday night catfish, good. Tuesday nights, kids 10 and under eat free with an adult meal purchase. Don't forget about Whippoorwill for every Hogs game with their massive projection screen. For catering options, call 479-769-2095. Newmeyer's Whippoorwill Restaurant, now a part of the Newmeyer family.
Fall is here, and that means cooler weather, football, and family, which makes it the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart, your family's #1 tire store. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let us ensure your vehicle is ready for anything fall brings your way. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Here comes the pressure, in trouble. Looking to run, now he's throwing downfield. Got a man completed the 35. Touchdown. To the 20, to the 10, to the 5, touchdown Arkansas, 75 yards. Green kept the play alive, and Tesla did the rest.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
Man, that seems like a while ago, even though it was just the end of September as Arkansas lost to Texas A&M. It got started great with that long pass from Green to Tesla early, and like it always seems to end Jerry World does not go. It's not ending well in Jerry World football-wise for you either, is it, Big C?
No,
3-5.
No, but if you compare losses like that to just getting absolutely embarrassed at home, I mean, losing is not fun, but man, at least we were competitive in that game.
Bring us your hot takes this morning here on Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV. Mike and Rogers is up next. Before we talk to him, just want to share with what Chris, Lee and their entire team are always doing for you. Grand Design, Forest River, Brinkley RVs. You always get that lifetime warranty with every new RV. Stop by and see Chris, Lee, their entire team, 5 miles west off exit 72 in Springdale. Seek, explore, and discover Arkansas, America, and beyond with our friends at Wheels RV. Mike's up next. Mike, you're on the Morning Rush. Go ahead.
Hey, Ty, how are you? Hey, so it's not really a hot take, but it's the fans that get me. This mouth guy was on the bandwagon last week, there's no doubt, when we blew Mississippi State out. He didn't have anything to say about the coaches then. So we lose to a superior team, and now the coaches got to go. It doesn't make any sense. I think the issue is our ones are as good as everybody's ones. We don't have any depth. We don't have the money to buy the depth, which is what we do now in college sports. And I think that's what the issue is. The beginning of the season when we were healthy, you get dinged up a little bit. Your twos aren't as good as everybody else's twos, and you can't run 10 people on the defensive line like Ole Miss did this week. And I think that shows. Mm-hmm. So that may not be a hot take, but that's my take.
No, but I think it's an accurate take. That's an accurate take here on it. We already start calling it Accurate Take Monday. You get a gold star if you say something that's true. I think there's a lot of truth to what you just said, Mike. And I think Sam Pittman's never going to say this publicly, but I think I don't think I have the clip on it, the Louis Vuitton versus Walmart reference. I mean, I think there's a case to be made that Ole Miss spent a lot more on their defensive line than you did. And not that Landon Jackson probably didn't cost money to bring back and instead of trying his hand at the draft. But, Mike, I think what you said is accurate, to be honest, bud.
Here's my thing. I just think it's I listen every day. I just don't call very often. But when he said that, it hit me. I was like, I guarantee you that guy was so good last week, and we were going to win every game going out after that because we laid a whooping on an inferior team. Well, you're not always the superior team. Sometimes you're the inferior team, and that's what happened this week with us. We got picked apart by a better team, and the same coaches are going to be there next week and the week after that. I don't think it's a coaching issue. I think it's a talent issue.
Sports is an up and down business, right? And sports radio is just a byproduct of what occurs on the field each week. You think about different college campuses across the country and fan bases in different spots, whether it's in Alabama and Tuscaloosa or Columbia and Missouri. I mean, there have been highs and lows for everyone this year, with the exception, I guess, the Oregon Ducks. And I guess Indiana, with what's going on in Bloomington right now. Congrats to our buddy Phil Elson and also Connor O'Gara, two Indiana guys. But Phil didn't necessarily just hold up the Hoosier stuff. But it's just, this is a weird year in college football. And I didn't think they were going to beat Tennessee, and they did. I also didn't think they were going to get blown out by LSU and Ole Miss, and they did. You, as Sam Pittman, as the head football coach, now have to figure out, like, how do we get this team to not let go of the rope? I mean, you can't afford for this fan base to go through another debacle like you did against LSU and Ole Miss, and not just the fan base, your football team too. I think it's just it hurts. It's painful at times to watch this football team at home, and I don't think it necessarily should be that case. Jason is called in from Frankfort, Kentucky. Jason, do we have the Arkansas Razorback flag flying in enemy territory this morning here as college basketball is getting underway?
All the time.
Let's go.
Got to rep the hog. So I'm calling in, and I get Eddie's low. I hear Brian and his his sort of gloating over the losses, the downfalls, and those things are fine. I think just a few observations is that we live in a microwave society.
Yep.
And so maybe what we're seeing is these that's why you have Hot Take Monday. So let everybody get it off their chest.
You saw right through it, didn't you, Jason? You saw right through it, didn't you?
No, I enjoy it. I'm enjoying it with you in a sense. I don't like the pain. I hate it when they lose. But, you listen on Monday expecting something like this. So, I mean, my only advice to people, and this is what my grandfather would tell me, is to let the cake bake. Let it finish, then get a reaction to the season. Don't call for the coach's head in the middle of the season. My grandfather was a big supporter of Ken Hatfield and just was like, no, we need to hang on to this guy at least a little longer, and just hated the CB and how it ended for them. So my response in all this is that, yeah, we don't need to look to buy out Sam Pittman at all. Not right now, not in December, not in June of next year. What we need to do, I think, is at the same time, if a year from now we're talking about a 10-win season, I don't know that we need to look at a contract extension either. I think we just need to say, we'll wait for 2026 to roll around, or the end of 2026,
mm-hmm.
and then we'll make a decision on whether we're going to buy out your contract or whether we're going to extend you. Let's let him finish this out. They paid a lot of money to this, and that's taking for granted that Sam's going to go 6-6, 7 wins, and then at that point you kind of determine, based on how revenue sharing goes, how the NIL stuff eventually shakes out, because we've seen a power shift. It's gone away from coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And it's come down to players. And so let's not extend this guy's contract until we see that he's going to be able to get these 6 or 7 win seasons, and again, with the chance to rise up and do something. So I'm really excited to see that. Let me run something by you all. I don't know if
Go ahead.
You're still there. Yeah. So this is one thing that I read about the TCU matchup. I'm switching gears because it's basketball season today. In the TCU game, my understanding is that Cal met with the referees before that game in a long meeting, and this is something that Cal's known to do here at Kentucky. He had a meeting with them, and he wanted them, for this exhibition, to have a really tight whistle against the Razorbacks. He wanted, like every break to go against them just to see how this. And so I don't know if you all had ever read anything like that or even heard anything like that. I wouldn't be surprised if Cal actually did it, just to temper expectations. But anyway, take heart in the fact that it's basketball season. Enjoy it, and enjoy this football season. See how it plays out. Go Hogs! Love you guys. You all take care, okay?
Jason, appreciate your call so we can play this college basketball theme. Like Jason said, college basketball season gets underway tonight. You've got two opponents you're playing this week that are in action tonight. The Queen takes on Lipscomb. Baylor takes in Gonzaga. And I think that game's in Spokane later on. So if you want to watch your opponents for Wednesday and Saturday, you can do so. I don't know. His question was about Cal telling the refs to get a tight whistle. I have not seen his story. I have not seen any crap. That might be accurate. I have no idea. I don't want to say that's wrong, and I don't want to say that's right either because I just simply don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We just, like you said, we don't know. But, I mean, just thinking about the optics of that, I mean, it sounds good on paper to do that. Get your team kind of ready for those games where it does seem like the whistle goes against you.
Just to prepare for this upcoming season. But he mentioned something, that the revenue sharing. For those that are just jumping in with us, it's a Hot Take Monday, 10:38 here on the Morning Rush. This sounds like it's set to go down and be finalized by July of 2025. We're $22 million, and there are a lot of people that can speak in better depths than I can. But the gist of the this whole thing is $22 million is going to be distributed to student athletes across campus, not just football, but other players as well. This is going to be done through a variety of ways and different ways that you can go about accumulating that money that you're going to have to spend. But I think what he said is fair. And again, Sam Pittman's going to be your head coach next year. Some of you don't want that. Some of you want this to continue, and hopefully he can get better. And they're improving from last year, not just from one win, but I think we can say this team's better. And I know the bulk of your schedule from a toughness standpoint has been at home in Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium with the exception of the A&M game. But to have back-to-back home performances like that is just inexcusable. And if you parlay that with another Texas loss, and I'm not just talking about a loss, but I'm talking about you getting creamed, demolished, porked on Saturday like you did against Ole Miss and like you did against LSU, then what do you do as a fan base? Like, what are you supposed to say, even if they get to bowl eligibility? It's like, Coach, we've got to see more from this football team, your program at home. And it's not just a 2024 issue. It's not just a November 2nd, Ole Miss at 11 o'clock issue. It is an ongoing issue that has to get fixed or resolved. And there's people out there that are a lot smarter than me and maybe it's just as simple as, again, having more talent on the roster. But you beat a Tennessee team that has yet to lose a game the rest of the season. So there are points that you can say, well, this is possible. It's just not necessarily probable.
And the theme kind of beginning of the year was, okay, the front of your schedule is tough, but you've got all these teams at home, right? And that hasn't been an advantage for you right now in any way. You've played one good game at home this year. One.
Wow.
And that wasn't even, you could say that wasn't even an all-around great game. You just, you played well in defense, I guess, but
the offense didn't have its best game. And there's some truth to that. I mean, that's just, and if you want to boil it down to the simple statement, you played one good game at home. That's true. You didn't play great against UAB. You didn't play great against LSU or Ole Miss. And now we'll see what they do against Texas and Louisiana Tech as you close out your home game this season. Hey, we're brought to you by our friends at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas. 25 locations across our state. You can check out all their financing options at myaglender.com. They'll help you choose the best financing option for you. Get started on building more family memories with an existing home or a new home with Farm Credit of Western Arkansas. 25 locations. Visit myaglender.com. More from Sam Pittman, again, following the game after a 31-63 loss to Ole Miss. He had, the belief aspect that we've talked about. Do you still believe in this football team?
I believe in our kids. I believe in our coaches. We'll go look at it and see if we can't get it fixed. I believe we can.
And I know they didn't play great coming off a bye last time. Hopefully you get Jaquindon Jackson back. Hopefully you get Jalen Braxton back. Hopefully you can get Taylor a little healthier. It looked like he was healthy in the Mississippi State game and then got banged up and nicked up in this game. So there are some key pieces that you hope in this 2-week stretch where you usually have just a 7 days separating game to game that will give fans hope. Because you need some hope for this Texas game right now. And if Texas demolishes Florida this Saturday in Austin, then there's going to be a lot of fans that are a little apprehensive of what could be to come. Now, maybe next week the change, the mood, the tone will shift more positive, but I don't get a sense that a lot of Arkansas fans are as positive about this Texas game as they say were a month ago, basically.
No, you definitely, I think the fans will be, once the game starts, they'll be into it. But, going into it, you're not as amped up, I guess. Just thinking about the matchup, like similar to the one in 2021 where they were the second game of the season. You weren't really sure how good you were, and they answered the bell in that game. This kind of feels like, okay, can we just stay in this game? We know Texas is got really good athletes, and we haven't played well at home, and hopefully that doesn't continue.
Got some text in here. JT in Hot Springs texting in. I'm going to hold him to his word on this. We've lost 5 of the last 6 SEC games by a total of 214 to 87.
Wow.
214. Big C, you might need to double-check the math on that.
We've lost 5 of the last 6.
Hoping that is hoping that's not accurate, but JT usually does his homework when stuff like this. Apparently, Andrew in Fort Smith is 37 days hog sober. I don't know if that means he hasn't watched Arkansas football in 37 days or whatever the case may be. But I don't think I played this theme yet. But to me, I don't know if you all feel this way. It just feels like Groundhog Day.
Groundhog time.
1,000 people freezing their butts off waiting to worship a rat.
We've had a similar type of show, unfortunately, on some Mondays the last 3 years where I just basically repeat the same thing. Why is this happening when you're not playing your best game at home, which is just typical of most junior high school, college, NFL teams? That's where they play their best. That's where they play in games they have no business being in, like the Tennessee game earlier this year. But I would say 3 or 4 worst games this season outside the Oklahoma State game have come at home. UAB, LSU, and Ole Miss. And as we talked about earlier, like some of you have had to adjust your clocks that haven't readjusted themselves. Like Sam Pittman, Bobby Petrino, and Travis Williams have to make adjustments between now and Texas. And I'm wondering, is your clock just going to stay the same? Is it going to say 11:45? Next weekend when it should be saying 10:45 like it is this morning? Or will it actually change? Can they do something between now and then? Or is this just your football team as is? Is this just what they're going to be? Is it going to be like this against Texas? Or will you see some sides of positivity? Because right now, this prediction of 6-6 that a lot of people have in the remaining 3 games is probably going to play out that way. And you hope it's not. You hope that they can get one SEC win down the stretch, and then, of course, they'll go to a bowl game after that. But it's definitely skewed more negative than positive when it comes to a performance where you give up 63 points and you lose by 32 on your home field.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed about this team this year, and that's partly the inconsistency, is, how does the game start? Does the game start on a good note or on a bad note? And if it starts on a bad note, that trend usually continues throughout the game. Now, I know we got that goal line stop, but what right after that, we gave up a strip sack fumble for a touchdown, and it just seems like once the first wheel falls off, they kind of all start falling off.
Stays like that, unfortunately. I don't know. For those that went to the game, if you stayed for the whole game, I left in the fourth quarter because I needed to get and start getting ready for the post-game show. But for those that made it through that entire game, that entire 60 minutes, kudos to you for doing that. Again, it is a Hot Take Monday brought to you by our friends at Wheels RV. You can always listen to us on hitthatline.com, the Hit That Line Now app across our 4 ESPN Arkansas radio stations. We're also on video, Facebook, YouTube, X, Twitch as well. Hitthatline.com. There's always a variety of ways that you can listen and watch us too. Outside of Arkansas and what happened this weekend, we mentioned our SEC stuff a little bit earlier. The Dallas Cowboys lost this weekend too. Dak Prescott's health is in question. Here's what he said on the mood of the team right now.
I mean, obviously frustrated. Obviously, I feel like I said that last week, disappointed. Felt like we could get this one. Felt like this was a great one set up for us. And didn't get it done for me to experience it.
The audio. All right, we back. I think you kicked something, Christian. We could.
Yeah, I didn't think I did.
We're back here on the morning. You heard again Dak Prescott talking about the mood of this football team, Dallas right now, not Arkansas, but I bet a lot of Cowboys and Arkansas fans, even though some of you might be hand in hand in that, feel that exact same way. Curious to see what the future of Mike McCarthy is for under Jerry Jones, what that looks like if he continues on to be the Cowboys coach this season. The future for the Dallas Cowboys, Christian, is not bright after 8 games in the NFL thus far.
No, I mean, and this season has been the most. I have been the most disinterested in watching this team because you can see where it's headed. I mean, you've got your best players, some of your best players out. You watch the Eagles and Commanders continue to win. It's just. There's no light at the end of the tunnel this year, and then Dak's kind of banged up, which
he's got an MRI on his hamstring this morning, right?
Yeah. When was that? Yeah, they said on Monday that he would have that done, so it was like a high hamstring injury. At this point, I don't even know if you give up on the season at this point, but man, the mistakes they made yesterday against the Falcons, they played well enough to win at times, and then, the big key on that there was like a 4th and 2, and they had their punter throw a pass, and they gave Atlanta a short field, and then, they had a 4th and 1, they were about to go for it, and they had 12 men on the field. Just little things like that can hurt you, and the false starts. I mean, it's just they don't get pressure on the quarterback. It's just all around not a good team. And, I mean, even the most delusional Cowboy fans know this is not a good team. I mean, they should at least.
Well, I don't know if we're going to pick the Dallas Cowboys next week or this upcoming week in our Fenceman Friday picks, but we might need to do so to help them get over the top when it comes to their next football game. Our Fenceman Friday picks always brought to you by our friend, the Fenceman. Sean and his entire team can help you out with something that's commercial or residential. 782-3936. That's 782-3936 for any project like wood privacy, vinyl, commercial, or residential. Sean and his team are not afraid of any job. He ain't afraid of no work. One more time, 479-782-3936 for the Fencemen, servicing all over Arkansas. So as we come back to this game this weekend, I think one of the controversies that's come out of Arkansas's 32-point loss is, hey, you have a quarterback situation, or are we going to see Malachi Singleton next weekend against Texas? I personally don't think there is one, but Sam Pittman did have some positive things to say about Malachi after the game.
I thought he played extremely well. He is very competitive, made some really, really nice throws. I think we ended up scoring 21 when he was in there in the second half. His legs, obviously, he was really good running the ball and throwing the ball. I was really, really happy for him to get that experience in there.
I think people are just grasping at things for change. Sometimes when change is necessary, there's a difference for that. But in this situation, I don't think Malachi Singleton is going to be your starter, barring injury for Taylon Green this next week. Now, again, I'll give Malachi his due. He 11-14, over 200 yards, a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown. I thought he came in a situation where they could have just, again, completely let go of the rope on offense, not tried at all. And he looked like he had some fire to him. And that team at times looked like they had some fire offensively. Now, it's one thing to do that in a close football game. It's another thing to do in a blowout where Arkansas really didn't have much of a chance at winning to that point. We'll have to wait and see. Again, you have a bye week, trying to set yourself up right. Not going to hear from Sam Pittman next week. We will hear from him next week. Here's what he said about just this week overall.
Well, we have a lot of work to do. We've got to go back to work on defense, secondary-wise, getting to the passer, tackling. Anytime you have 700 yards on you, you've got a whole bunch of problems that we've got to get fixed, but we have willing kids. I believe they'll do that offensively. Our pass protection, we've got to hold up better, 8 sacks. Our running game can take some stress off of that, so we have a lot of work to do next week. We will do that and then get ready the following week for Texas.
That's what they got to do. We'll see what happens between now and then. Appreciate everyone joining us here today on a Hot Take Monday. Always brought to you by our friends at Wheels RV. You'll have the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast up when the show is over later on. If you want to listen to that, you can always listen to all of our podcasts on hitthatline.com or just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. We are brought to you this morning by our friends at In Stock Parts, a distribution warehouse in Fort Smith that has gear reducers, shaft couplings, electric motors, starters, variable frequency drives, bearings, belts, chains, and more. You'll enjoy great pricing, great customer service, and less downtime. Local inventory will get you back up and running fast. They're located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage. You can stop by anytime or check them out online at instockparts.com. In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource. If we don't have it, we will find it for you. Mr. Phil Elson, Mr. Matt Jones coming up next. What does Matt think about the quarterback play? What does Matt think about the offense? Find that out, and him and Phil will give you updates and their thoughts on a 63-31 loss next on Halftime.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River